Good day, everyone. It's a Saturday afternoon, and we're just gonna be lazy with a Caesar Yae Miko and clear the abyss in a smooth, fun, relaxed manner. And I'll sort of show you how to sort of do it. So as you can see on screen, these are going to be more or less the characters that we'll use, and so on. Are they optimal? Are they super cracked, hardcore? Like abyss record setting characters? No. Their artifacts are pretty sort of meh. And that, in my opinion, is more than good enough because this is the one thing I've realized. There will always be someone somewhere out there that's been incredibly lucky with their artifacts. There will always be someone that'll pay more than you can in terms of the game. So, the best that you can do is just look at the characters that you like and that you love and sort of use them. So, let's use Kokomi and Yae Miko, whom you guys know I absolutely adore. So here they are in the background, and if you've noticed, the first thing that I've done is I did not triple EQ triple E with Yae Miko. This is one of the most bizarre things that I could not understand. That sort of a lot of people sort of criticized Yae for, and they sort of said, well, she's too clunky, she takes too much field time. But at the end of the day, once you put down your turrets, you are then at liberty to swap to your other team members, expend all of their cooldowns, and right before your totems or turrets expire, you can actually go and then use your elemental burst. In fact, you can even like waste a bit of time and then just do a quick E and then a Q, and then you can again just reset all of them. Yae Miko was never ever very problematic and so on. The thing about Yae, as we've noted when she came out, was the fact that because she scales with EM, she is going to be most likely used in reaction-based team comps, and as you guys can see, this is where she really shines at. So Hyper Bloom or just like Aggravate sort of teams are certainly really sort of favor her, as well as like some funny cases where you've got like enemies flying around. So auto targeting is an absolute blessing with Yae Miko. It doesn't matter if the enemies are running like away, if they're in the air or whatever. You don't need a special bow user to shoot them down. You just target them, and it's the same with Kokomi as well. A lot of people sort of underplay the fact that Kokomi has gotten like this utility and so on for range damage, and that's just what makes her like really good. If you've noticed here in the background, all I did is I set up a sort of I set up the Dendro Traveler. I grouped up all the enemies, we swirled them, and then there we go. Yae Miko just knocks them all out with her abilities. We did not triple EQ triple E. We made an appropriate setup, and as you saw in the background, we got the results, and now we are just playing it slow so that we can get enough energy for the final floor. Once again, very lazy, very relaxing. We set up Yae Miko, we go with Kokomi, we go with the little Dendro Traveler, and so on. We set up the Dendro, the enemies come, so we just group them. We do a bit of a taser sort of variation and sort of Hyper Bloom. We throw in our abilities, we then smack all of them, and we get trapped inside a bubble. I mean, obviously, this is just one of those hazardous spiral abyss floors, so things like these will tend to happen. So if you get caught in bubbles, don't think it's bad luck. I very often, like when I play on this floor, they'll just like a bubble will automatically like appear like there, like in front of you or behind you, or just in a place where you didn't expect it to appear. So these things happen, but despite the fact that they are happening and poor little Kokomi gets caught in as well, we can just still hit the enemy passively. This is what Yae Miko is so good for. So even whilst you are incapacitated, her turrets can still hit the enemy. And luckily for us in this case, the enemy pushed us into a very optimal position so that I can disable these enemies quickly. And once again, Yae doesn't need to be on the field, she's just passively hitting the enemies. And as you can see, we can just zip around the battlefield as well, avoiding the enemies and so on. This is the cool thing about her turrets. It gives you the ability to zip around, it gives you the ability to save up some stamina, move around on the battlefield, and it's just cool. I just think Yae, from a functional and technical perspective, is really awesome. She's got a very high skill ceiling with regards to her movement and so on. That's why, as you can see, I changed my own personal keybinds. But once you master that, once you understand how to mix Yae and user and reaction-based team comps, yeah, she just works. Even at C0, you do not need C1 for energy. The only reason you go for, let's say, her Constellation 1 is so that you can perhaps like swap to a bit more like aggressive artifacts and so on, which will certainly like help her. In other words, your builds can be like much higher, so you'll do more crit damage and so on. And the rest of her constellations are really strong. So from C2 onwards, Yae just does like a ton of damage. But you guys know this because you've seen my C6 R5 Yae. She just, look, I can't wait to put her with Nahida because I do think like the two of them are just gonna absolutely massacre the Spiral Abyss. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But even then, we'll also see what a C0 Yae and a C0 Nahida can do as well. So I'm really excited. I think Yae Miko probably the Electro unit that's been buffed the most with Dendro. And I'm just so happy for her because we defended Yae, and from my perspective, it all paid off. But yeah, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Cheers.